Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I am going live on Facebook and Instagram simultaneously. So if you see me that's why. I feel like there should be a way to just go live in one and it'll go to the other. Maybe there is. If you know about that, tell me. I know that there's a way to write in here on Instagram the title down. The title today is Root Down to Rise Up. I'm going to tell you what that means and how to do it. Down to rise up. Okay, cool. All right. So welcome. So excited to be doing this. I'm excited to do it on both platforms. It's really fun. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes, see if anyone's coming on in, give everyone a chance on both platforms. Before we get started, I'm going to start dropping these amazing tips. If you are on Instagram, you can watch it on Facebook if that's easier for you. I personally like to do it on Facebook because I think you can sit at your computer and watch it larger rather than just being like on your phone on Instagram. But that's obviously a personal preference. Whatever way works best for you. Okay, so I'm going to dive into it. Hi, welcome. So I'm going to be talking about how to root down to rise up. What that means, how to do it, how I did it, how you can do it. Basically, I just designed this workshop to teach you exactly how to strengthen your intuitive muscle so that you can live in alignment with the best version of you. This is what I do at a core level. I mean, I named my business Root to Rise for this exact reason. And frankly, I can't believe it's taken me this long to do a workshop on it and to talk about it in this way and give you these tools. But I'm excited to do it today and to jump into it. So the definition of intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. So intuition can be seemingly mystical, a little unattainable. And I feel like we think about it in terms of someone who's like this earth mother yogi, when really it's not like that at all. I think about intuition as a muscle. It's a muscle that can be strong, it can be weak, but it can be strengthened. A lot of the time as kids, we have a really strong intuitive muscle. We know like who we do and we don't want to play with on the playground. We know when our bellies feel full. And as we get older, that intuition weakens, right? We are influenced by media and the people around us, our environment, podcasts, Instagram, Twitter, like all these different things are actually weakening our intuition. So how do we strengthen it, right? How do we get back to having a strong intuition? We have to use it. And to use it, we have to demystify it a bit. So let me take you back to my own story with all of this. Basically, it would be like 8:30 p.m. I'd be on my 5th spoon of peanut butter, straight out the jar, obviously. And be like, okay, so my intuition is telling me to stop eating this peanut butter out the jar, but I literally can't. Like, I have no self-control. So now what, right? Like, intuition is great, but how do I access that? And how do I actually make the choices that feel aligned for me? It's not hard. I know it seems hard. It's not hard. So how do we do it, right? How did I go from binge eating, literally binge eating, working out twice a day and hating it, feeling completely out of touch with my body, to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, to feeling a complete mind-body connection, living a balanced life, having confidence in my body, and teaching others to do the same. It's actually not that crazy at all. It's definitely not woo-woo. There's 3 steps. So, first step in how to root into your intuition is to create space. So, what does that mean? I'm a big fan of creating space in my morning before I start the day. Because we're going a million miles per hour, right? Like, no matter what you do for work, you're probably going. It's just kind of our culture. So when we are going so fast, we often don't have space in our day. Like, sometimes we start work from the moment we wake up and we're going into the moment we fall asleep, and there's no space. So how can we possibly hear the signs that our body's telling us, right? So our bodies are trying to always speak to us. And if we basically don't have the space to listen to them, we're never going to be able to strengthen that muscle. So some ways to create space, like I mentioned, I'm a big fan of having a really great morning routine. That's been such a game changer for me. I can go a little bit more into that. So for my morning, I will wake up and I'll have some space before I get on my phone. It's not like 2 hours. It's like a reasonable amount of time before I start the day. And then I will do some exercise before I start the day. I'll take a shower, and then I'll start, my coffee routine, my to-do list, and then my day. I did a whole workshop on this recently, and if you're interested in seeing more about that and how I structure my day intuitively, I can definitely send that to you. So send me a message. But that's just allowing a little bit more space. Same thing in the evening too, right? If you are working until you go to sleep, how are you going to be able to check in with yourself about how the day went, or what's coming up for you? What's feeling good? What's feeling bad? So having an evening routine is just as important as having a morning routine. We talk about morning routines a lot. I think it's just like a fun thing to talk about in our culture, but I think we need to also understand the importance of an evening routine too, and creating that space for ourselves there, kind of winding down, shutting down before we go to sleep. So those are 2 ways. Also, breaking for lunch is a great way to have space. I think a lot of the time, again, we go, and taking that time can be frowned upon, and that's not okay. Like, you need to be able to take the breaks that allow you to feel good. That's it. It's non-negotiable. So maybe right now is a really great opportunity for you to do that and to schedule a lunch break into your day. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 20 minutes, but even just giving yourself that space. And space here means like away from your phone, away from work, away from your computer, and just enjoying your food, like being present in that moment and enjoying it. Also, obviously, meditation is a great way to create some space. Maybe you have like a 5 to 10 minute meditation practice in the morning. I try to implement that as much as possible. Yoga too, especially when you are focusing on the breath, is a good way. Walks are a really great way to create space. You can do a walk like around the 3 p.m. mark and be like, okay, I'm getting a little stir crazy. Let me go for a walk, check in with my body. Instead of just going. Leads to a lot of burnout. So that's step 1, creating space in your day. Step 2 is to check in with yourself. So once you've created that space, now you can check in. So again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, it could just be a body scan, and you sit down, maybe you're sitting for your lunch break and you're like, okay, wait, before I start, like, let me roll my shoulders back. Let me take a breath. Like, how am I feeling? What's coming up for me? And just kind of assess the situation. Like, how's your gut feeling? How's your chest feeling? Like, are your thoughts going a million miles per hour? And now you're like, oh my God, like, I didn't even realize how fast I was going. See what comes up for you when you take that full body scan. Actually, I have a really great full body scan kind of check-in meditation that I can send you to if you're interested. So send me a message if you want that. Also, journaling. Journaling can be a really great way to check in. Personally, I'm not a big journaler, but I know a lot of people who love it. So if you allow yourself the space to journal, now you can check in through that art of journaling and see what comes up for you that way. Putting a pen to paper, that can be really, really powerful. And begin to notice, like, what is coming up? What is your body telling you? What is your mind telling you? What are the things that are happening and feeling and like moving in your body, and how is it coming out onto the page? Also, sitting in silence. This is something that we never do, right? Again, our culture is go, go, go. And then we're like, okay, I did my 5 minutes meditation, like done. I'm not even saying meditate in this point. I'm saying sit in silence for even 1 minute. Just sit there. Like, you don't have to focus on trying to meditate, trying to like clear your mind, nothing like that. Just no sounds, like nothing at all. Not working, not on your phone, sitting in silence and noticing what organically comes up. Danny asks, what do I think about when I'm breathing? So if you're doing, it depends. I mean, you can think about literally nothing. You can just start to notice yourself slowing down. You can try a meditation technique if you're new to that. There are so many amazing guided meditations. I'm a big fan of the Waking Up app. And that's a really good place to start because they'll kind of teach you how it is okay to think when you're meditating and when you're breathing. Okay, so basically the point here is to notice what's coming up for you. The third step, so make space. 2, use that space to check in with yourself. And 3 is knowing your worth. So to tap into your intuition and to actually follow through with what your body's telling you, you need to know your worth. You can't really get past step 1 and step 2 until you feel confident that you are even worthy of living this balanced, holistic life and strengthening that intuitive muscle. If you think like, oh, that's something that's saved for yogis, or like that's something that's saved for like Buddhists, then you're not going to get there because you don't feel like you're worthy of it. This is where a little bit of the inner work comes in, obviously, and that looks different for everyone and what you feel called to. But I think once you're able to work on step 1 and step 2, you are able to feel that the best modality for this work for you, whether it be like, it could be something like talk therapy, it could be EFT, it could be Reiki, it could be like massage, it could be like even fitness. So there are a couple different options, and I would urge you to like sit with yourself and see what comes up and see like, okay, where am I feeling on like the worthy scale, and what might it take for me to feel more confident in myself and more worthy. It's also recognizing your behavior patterns. So what behavior patterns are linked with your self-worth. And also, that shadow work that we sometimes talk about and you sometimes hear about, that's very much related here too. The unblocking and that shadow work, like what's keeping you small. So if you feel like your self-worth is a little out of whack and this is like the part that's resonating to you and you're like, wow, I really need help in that area, again, message me. I will send you resources. I will send you people to talk to. I will send you free things. I got you on this. But these are really the 3 steps that are going to ground you, and they're going to root you into who you are and begin to strengthen that muscle so that you are able to listen to the signs that your body is telling you, and it's not some far off crazy thing. It's going to help you with every piece of the health puzzle, right? So the health puzzle is all encompassing. It's your relationship, your career, your sleep, mindfulness, obviously, food, movement. All of these things work together. They're all intertwined. So if one's out of whack, they're all going to be a little bit out of whack. And if one's really great, that's going to trickle into other areas too. So your intuition is going to help you strengthen all of those areas. It's also important to note, we don't have to throw away science here to have a strong intuition. Like if you know me, I am all about science. I have a master's in science. I have a bachelor's in science, but I also have a really strong intuitive muscle. So it's just about making them harmonious. Actually, 81% of CEOs with high intuition scores doubled their business in 5 years. So this isn't a practice that's sacred for like Reiki healers. Again, this is for everyone. And this can only benefit you, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. I think that's what we get hung up a lot. It's like kind of one or the other. Or we rely on just the research, or we rely on just even someone else's intuition, like seeing something on Instagram and being like, oh, I in the morning feel so intuitive for me to like do my 20-minute meditation. And you're like, oh, okay, same. It's like, does it actually feel intuitive for you? Or did you just watch that and feel like, okay, I should do that? So for example, research says, right, that intermittent fasting can help potentially burn more calories. So we're like, okay, great. I'm definitely going to do intermittent fasting, even though I'm so hungry when I wake up and I really love breakfast. Like it has to be good for me, right? So then we do it. and we're pushing the time that we're eating off maybe in the day. And we're like, day after day, we're like, I just got a reminder that I've spent 2 hours on Instagram today. That's bad. That's very bad. Anyway, so research says, right, burn calories, yada, yada, but we're still hungry. We're hungry and we're like, ugh, I feel so hungry when I wake up. Like, but I'm going to try to do it. I really love, eating breakfast right when I wake up, but the research is there. And then it's like day 5 and we're like, screw it. I'm going to eat enough pancakes for a whole family. So I think that too much restriction obviously throws us out of whack and kind of catapults us the other way, but also not listening to our intuition and just looking for the research can also do that too. So try to integrate both, right? For the intermittent fasting example, if the research is there, amazing, try it out. It's there for a reason, right? So try it and see what comes up. After you've practiced these methods of creating space, seeing what comes up for you, checking in, aligning your self-worth, see what happens when you practice the research and evidence-based techniques and if they actually are feeling good for you. Because there's really not like a one size fits all. Despite research, like no one can possibly do every single thing that is evidence-based when it comes to health. You would have a 6-hour morning routine, like alone. So just kind of pick and choose and see what's feeling really good. We need to be able to blend the two, the evidence-based practice and also understands how our body is reacting to that. So these are the things that have helped me go from point A, dark, low times, low self-worth, not feeling confident in my body, not feeling like I had really any clue what to do and was just kind of following the trends. Like gained a bunch of weight, had eating disorders, was like very unhealthy, even though I thought I was doing all the right things. So being on the other side of that and feeling like I have really worked to strengthen my intuition. I've done that work. I feel the results of it. Like eating intuitively, very much so. The way that I respond and react to situations, like in my relationships, comes from having a strong intuition. Like what my mindfulness practice is, what works for me, what doesn't work for me, comes from strengthening my intuition. Same with like my sleep techniques, my workouts for sure. My movement process is very intuitive. So it trickles down into all the different categories of your life and all the different pieces of the puzzle. So I find this obviously fascinating, but also so important and something that we just don't talk about. We're not taught to strengthen this muscle. We're just not. And it sucks. It's unfortunate, but that's what I'm here for, is to help you through that. So hopefully this conversation was helpful and hopefully those 3 things can guide you. And maybe you have a little bit of extra space now to do that. And by extra space, I mean time. Literally, we don't have extra space, which makes it even greater to do this mental space practice. So hopefully these tips are helpful for you. And this was so fun for me. I want to do like a more in-depth workshop on this. So if that would be of interest to you, let me know. But thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day, guys.